Okay, to get into the new version of our Twin Eclipse, first, just remove the bottom pommel. And then very carefully push with your finger, not on the pins. If you can see those pins in there, those are what sends the data and power signal up this string of LEDs for the blade. Never push on the pins, but push with your fingernail on the outside, just on the outside, and the core will come right out. And we have easier access now for our redesigned chassis. Easier access for the SD card, micro SD card. And then your USB-C port right there. Make sure to always use a 5 volt times 1 amp, which equals 5 watts. You multiply volts and amps to get watts. Make sure to only use a 5 watt USB charger on this to recharge your core. And then when you're reinserting it, go start from the bottom end. And you'll know the bottom end because it's the one that's closest to the CoverTech clip. And you'll notice a little divot right here, I don't know if you can see that, that lines up with this little notch on the core right there, this thing. And when you're sticking it back in, you want to line up the notch with the divot. Never ever push directly on the speaker cone, you'll damage the speaker. Just push on the outside until it's in place. And then if it doesn't go any further, you can go ahead and screw on the pommel cap, and that's how you get to the bottom core. For the top core, it's a little bit more complicated. No longer is it a screw off here. In one of your packets, your tool packets, you'll find a silver Allen wrench. It's actually a star wrench, so it's a little different than the Allen wrench. You can see that. So this is the star tool. This is what you're going to use to get into the top core. And then you'll just proceed to unscrew the 5 star screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And take your time. You don't want to strip anything. All I would do is I would go through and just loosen up each and every one first. Take your time. You don't want to strip the screws. So all I'm doing is loosening all of them, and then you can just use your 2 fingers and unscrew them. Don't lose those little screws. That's what you need to put the top back together. Again, it's these screws right there. They are tiny little screws. And Xenopixel does have a deep sleep, so once this is charged and you put it on deep sleep, which after 10 minutes of inactivity it will go to deep sleep mode and it'll preserve your battery. So once all 5 screws are removed, the bottom cap comes right off and then your chassis slides right out. And again, you have access to your SD card, you have access to your USB-C charging port. Never push on the speaker. And same thing when reinserting the chassis. There's this little divot here, pop out notch right there that you want to line up with the little divot in the top of the chassis. That's how you know it's lined up correctly. And that's it. And then you just put your cap back on. And how you know it's perfect is if you order it weathered from us, you'll see the little orange rust spots, so you'll be able to line that up with that if you order it weathered. If not, basically all you want to do is make sure that these 2 pins are, I guess, perpendicular is the word I'm looking for, to the switch on the top. So if these 2 shoot left and right when your switch is up, have it the way you need it to clock it correctly, the bottom side. And then to really tune it in, you'll just look for those holes. All right, so that's it.